Hey, welcome to the United We Scan podcast. Just a quick disclaimer here that any of the views and opinions expressed by the individuals are not that of the USPS or the NRLCA. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and if you are in need of any assistance, please contact your designated union representative. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 130. We are back, Josh Meow and myself. Tonight's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge. We're going to talk about, I know some of y'all saw some increases on your paychecks from this past Friday and wondering where the rest is, back pay, all that good stuff. So we're going to cover that the best we can. There's an EMA increase coming up for those POV drivers. Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge of what we're doing right now and what's going on. So, how was your week, Meow?
Week was okay. It was a little different. My kid got sick at school, so I ended up being off one day with him because if you puke at school, you can't come in for a day. So that was fun. Not really. I went to a concert and then made the mistake of not taking the day after the concert off. So I delivered my route on 3 hours of sleep. So that was fun. But other than that, it was pretty good. It was mail volume was about average. Yesterday, I had a full coverage in my DPS. That was all upside down, so that was even funner. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty good. How was your week, Josh?
My week wasn't too bad. Other than later in the day, Wednesday, starting to not feel so great, and ended up with a head cold, which was not fun. Friday morning, which was my K day because I have rotating Friday, Saturdays for this weekend. So I actually got my weekend off for once, but I was sick. So, hey, I'm not going to like my next check because of having the 2 days of not of extra pay not there. But it is what it is. Kristen, how was your week?
Oh, my week was a little bit of here, a little bit of there. I worked my K day yesterday because supervisor couldn't finish a schedule before she went on vacation and there was no coverage. So, yeah, I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and work. That X day probably will get banked with the new guarantee period starting soon. So, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. Thursday, unfortunately, I did have a funeral to attend, and my aunt passed away, and my mom's oldest sister. So I was fortunate enough to go and represent that side of the family, since unfortunately not everybody else could make it due to siblings that live across the country with appointments, and mom had an appointment as well and everything else. So it was good to see at least my four cousins and some of their kids and grandkids. And of course, it's probably been a decade at least since I've seen them. But it's unfortunate it has to be those circumstances. But it was nice to spend a little bit of time with family I don't see very often. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. I mean, mail is mail. I had a full coverage in my DPS as well yesterday. Actually, I almost had two. I had one mailer and then another one that was quite a bit. But other than that, I love looking at walking in the office and going, holy DPS on a Saturday, Batman. And then realize as I'm going through my DPS that one tray of it that was labeled to my route was actually belonged to a completely different town. And I just laughed because I know the carrier that carries the route that tray of DPS belonged to. They were an RCA in our office when I first transferred in, and then they left to go to another nearby office for a highway contract route, and that DPS went to one of his towns on his highway contract route. So I'm like, yep, not mine, thanks. That was kind of a relief, but and
I say, Kristen, if you wanted, you could use that X day for this past Thursday because it's the same pay period.
No, was it? Nah, I'm not gonna worry about that. We got it covered.
This is the middle of the pay period. So, well, I'm just saying you could.
Yeah, but it's all good. We can save it.
Okay.
I'll have something coming up after Christmas time. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
All right, so to start off the normal stuff, relief day work list and Sunday volunteer lists went up, or supposed to go up as of yesterday, and they come down on the 26th, and then effective October 4th, which is the beginning of the new guarantee period. Also
And,
becoming
and
what was that,
I
Josh?
was going to say, despite what my management thinks, the volunteer list is for RCAs if they want to volunteer or not volunteer to work Sunday
Yeah, PTO.
and holidays for MPTFs. I apologize. For the Amazon Sundays and holidays.
Yes.
And
And yep,
each
My
that's
sub has to
management
say
seems to
yes
think it's for the
or no.
regulars to sign up to volunteer.
to work their relief day. And being on that
No,
relief day work list allows you the option to choose whether you want to be paid a DACA 3, which is an X day and a half a day's pay, or a DACA 5, which is the overtime.
well, there's three options if
And
you're
then the
on the
DACA
list.
R, which is just swapping out your relief day for a different day. Usually that one's used
Right.
more for if you agree with your sub, if they need it off, but it can be used in other instances as well.
Right. I was going to say the main difference, other than the half a day's pay, is a DACA 3 management can schedule that day, that X day.
Yep,
On a
contractually
DACA
they
R,
are allowed to schedule it. DACA R, you get to choose.
it is mutually agreed upon.
Yep. And then if you have an office where your management lets you use your X days like normal leave days, even better. But contractually, they don't have to do that.
Right. And
It's
that,
nice when they do,
and
though.
that's the one thing people don't understand. Most reasonable management will let you take the X day when you want.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some out there that say, nope, schedule it and you're taking your X day on Wednesday.
Yes. And as a reminder, anybody who has accumulated some X days leading up until October 4th, if they're not used by October 3rd, they will be frozen until after the Christmas overtime period. And any X day earned between the beginning of the guarantee period and the end of Christmas overtime, which I haven't even looked up when that starts yet. That is the first Saturday of December, which
December
is December
6th
6th
through the 26th.
through the 26th. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So the day after Christmas, which is nice, is also included in the Christmas overtime this year. So between October 4th and December 26th, if you earn an X day, it has to be used within the same pay period. If it cannot be used within the same pay period, it will be paid out as a DACA 5, regardless if you're on the relief
Yep.
day work list or not.
Yep.
Also, starting October 4th, there is an EMA increase of half a penny, 0.5 cents. So EMA will go up to 97.5 cents for those POV drivers starting October 4th.
And I believe it said $39 per trip.
Let me look.
For regular.
No, I think it's more than that, but let me look.
I believe that's what it was. $39 is the minimum.
It will be, yep, the minimum of $39 per day or 97.5 cents per mile, whichever is greater. Thank you, Josh. Yes, that was correct. Yep. EMA of 97.5 cents per mile or 10.35 per hour, whichever is greater under the Article 9, Section 2.G.5, which is employees providing auxiliary assistance or serving auxiliary routes under the provisions. So that's there to look forward to. Also, some of you may have noticed a slight increase on your paycheck from this past Friday. And go ahead, one of you, if you want to explain what that increase was.
Okay. As we just ratified and had our new tentative agreement contract signed, which went into effect May of 2024 through May of 2027. During that time, from May of 2024, we had a COLA increase in August of 2024. We had the general wage increase of 1.3% for regulars or 2.3% for RCAs. In November of 2024, we had a secondary COLA increase in February, which should have been paid out in March of 2025. Those three were included in this paycheck that we just got Friday. In this current pay period that we're in, which will get paid out next, sorry,
The 26th.
on the 20th, we'll have the COLA increase for the August of 2025 increase.
Yep. And the pay table charts that are now up on the union website that are effective September 6th include all of the increases.
Yes.
So you're looking at going, wait, my paycheck didn't match up with the new table. That's because it won't match until your next paycheck.
Yes.
And then back pay is projected for February.
Right. And then there is, I don't remember, I believe, was it in November?
Yes.
No, I forget the date in October.
November.
November.
For the
Contractual rate?
For the 55 cents?
Oh,
No.
the RCAs.
The
Yep.
RCA's
Let me
55
hold-
cents and the were $1.55.
Yep, I
In
got
the
that
chat
right here.
There
right
is
now.
a date on that. Any RCAs on table 4, which is anyone hired after November of 2010, if you're an RCA, you will be getting a 55-cent increase.
Yep, the 55-cent hourly increase will come in those RCA and ARC paychecks on the 24th of October. And then...
If you are an
Go ahead.
RCA or an ARC for more than 3 years, you will get an additional $1. So instead of 55 cents, your check will go up by $1.55.
Again, to reflect on October 24th. And that includes any future RCAs when you hit that 3-year mark. So this just isn't for RCAs that have been around for 3 years now, get that additional $1. So let's say you hit January 1st is your, well, not the first, January 2nd is your hire date. You hit your 3-year mark, January 2nd. That pay period is when you will see an additional $1 increase. This is going forward for any RCA. When they hit that 3 years, they will receive an additional $1 step increase, as they are calling it. And then, of course, retroactive back pay provisions. Go ahead.
I'm going to say November 22nd, I believe, we will get the second 1.3% increase.
Thought it was 1.4.
Which will show...
It's 1.4.
You are correct. 1.4. You are correct. I apologize. I'm just so used to them always being...
Finish our 1.4.
Hey, I'll be happy with that extra 0.01%, you know? And then any back pay, they're estimating mid-February.
Yeah, they said they will. As of right now, they're saying will reflect on February 27th, 2026 paycheck. So, and even if you're no longer with the post office, but you were anytime between the contract getting ratified, when it was ratified, whatnot, and after, you will get a back check check will come for you when they are issued, even if you are no longer with the Postal Service. I laughed and picked on Ruby and told her she'll get her $5 check in February.
Right.
But she rolled her eyes at me. But yeah, I noticed a little bit of the increase. I mean, it wasn't huge being table 2, step 2, but I did see a little bit in there. So I'll see again for a little bit for the next one. And then I'm actually looking forward to the November increase because my step increase falls that same pay period. So yeah, I get a double raise in November.
And is that with the 50 weeks?
No, that will still be the 52 because I don't see it being put in place before that yet. They had 180 days to get that going.
Okay.
So I'm still within, I'm
still
within 180 days.
Okay.
Yeah, my step increase is normally is like January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited to get my 50-week one this year. So
mine will be next year
during Christmas.
Yeah, mine will be next year. But hey, I'm all about a step increase and a 1.4% general wage increase come November in the same paycheck. That'll be nice. And then
yeah.
And then praying, fingers crossed, I regain that hour I lost in the spring mini mail survey. The September 27th, so day after the next payday, is when the new 4241As and Ms will be available, so you can see your evaluations from this fall mini mail survey. Now, if you are a route that has been cut less than 52 weeks prior to this mini mail survey, you will not get your
Kristen,
4241As or Ms because you are frozen.
I want to correct you. Instead of saying cut, say adjusted, because anyone that gained territory also
Yes,
will have that
excuse
issue,
me. Yes. So if your route was adjusted in any way,
up
whether
or
you
down.
were an overburdened route
Or
getting
created.
a section cut off, if you were a route that was built back up, if even, yeah. So if you swap territory because they were squaring routes up or whatnot, any way that you had your route adjusted with territory from another route or given territory to another route, you will not get your 4241A and Ms because you are frozen, and they feel that you don't need to see them because the data won't be correct. Now, I do know of some routes that are just coming off of that 52-week freeze and will be getting their first new evaluation since they were adjusted coming up. And I know my friend is very nervous about what's going to happen to their route.
Well, I'm sure.
I know.
Yeah, and if you're one of the people too that were adjusted in any way, shape, or form, make sure that you ask management for that interim worksheet of what they had done to that route. I know that there's still people out there who didn't see that, and just ask them for it so you can see the components of your route. The other thing is that if you have growth, interim growth, you're still and you were a part of that freeze, you still are supposed to be able to naturally grow. And if you're not seeing that reflected, then you need to be calling your union steward and communicating it with management. So just as kind of a disclaimer on that, I know there's some people who are very confused about not getting the evaluations like the others. I know last October there was routes that were adjusted in June of last year, and when they got the evaluations come October, the 48Ks jumped all the way back up to 48Ks, and then there was routes that were created and they became substandard even though they were full-size routes. And then there was some other people who were given territory from the overburden routes and their pay tanked. And so there's give and take with I know with that MOU and the freezing and whatnot, and I know there's a lot of frustration around it, but just know that that's kind of the give and take and the reasoning behind that from what my understanding is of it. So I wish that you could see your evaluation like Kristen said, but until you get 52 weeks of data, it's still not going to really show you your true evaluation. Sadly, really sad.
Right. And when Meow says that there were some people that went substandard, we're talking they did 43 Ks, came
Mhm.
back at 22 hours a week, which is, you know, some of them even came back barely as an ox route because it was that close, or to the mini Meow survey and new evaluations that it
It,
only had maybe 6 weeks of data.
and I kind of voiced
Bless you.
this to one of our national board members at national convention that absolutely hated that MOU. I mean, we do basically hated the fact that people had to pay back money and whatnot, which we all agree it sucked. It does suck. I But my
Right.
thing is some of these routes that are moving into SNDCs, I feel that they should be frozen for at least one mini mail survey, just for the fact that my friend, which y'all know who she is, um, her route when they moved into her SNDC, she went from a 45 to a 48. She got cut last summer down to a 45 because she has a Tuesday K day. And she was frozen at that 45 until she gets her new evaluation with this mini mail survey. The thing is that fall mini mail survey, after she was cut, she stayed a 45. So that tells
There's
me,
some that they didn't adjust like a lot in. There's some where it's it stayed the same kind of, and then there's others where, I mean, without looking at all of them, it's interesting.
It is interesting because, you go in, we added the extra mileage, boom, you're a 48. Then we cut you to a 45, which you were already a 45 prior to moving into the office. And in that first mini mail survey in that office, you were cut, and now you stayed a 45 because you're going off that 52 weeks of data. So for me, that's telling me that I think those routes that are going into SNDCs need to be frozen through one mini mail survey and then see where the evaluation is on the next one, because her route, from the way I'm seeing it with how the data is working at the 52 weeks, her route shouldn't have been cut.
Right.
That she wasn't truly overburdened or whatnot. Maybe.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like my station next month is going into an SNDC. We'll be the
sorry.
first ones there, probably. No, we have to move because the airport told us 3 years ago they want their land back. So
Yeah.
we will be the only station in that SNDC until after New Year's at the earliest. And that's mostly because we have to be out of our building. And it's really, other than the walk distances, the only other thing that's going to change is for me, for my zone, the 3 rurals in my zone will get miles approximately of extra travel time to and from because of how close we are to that building anyway.
Yeah,
Some of these from the other zone are going to lose mileage because it's right there by where their routes are. So
you do.
it'll put them
You
closer
see
to
where
their
I'm
routes.
saying though, where when you have offices moving into an SNDC, you see where I'm saying though that they should be frozen through at least one mini mail survey.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am
because
not
they're
disagreeing
not
with
truly seeing like what's happening like with that, because some of the SNDCs, these people are now walking like super far. Other ones, they might have lost footage. You just never know what the situation is. But until the dust fully settles with that SNDC, I mean, yeah, freezing them for that. Maybe they can create a different MOU for that.
Yeah, I guess
it.
I need
Not
to
necessarily
write that
freezing
down
them,
for
but
my resolution list.
Yeah,
there you
I've been
go.
thinking about
But
that
at
one, and
least
I
every
agree with
waiting.
time I
you.
go to do resolutions, I forget about it because I don't write it down.
At least waiting until after the first reevaluation after moving in.
Yeah, I would say
I'm
freeze
gonna
for one
throw
mini
another
mail
real
survey.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let me throw another kind of weird, confusing wrench into this too, since we were talking about the back pay and stuff too. If you were adjusted, or if, because I get asked this a lot, if you were an RCA or a PTF, or you were a sub during the duration of since July of 2024 until September 6th was the cutoff for the back pay.
Yeah.
You'll get back pay also at what you were during that time. And if you're adjusted, just keep in mind that like you're going to have back pay maybe at different rates to so just keep track with your form 50s. And if you're like me and you like to verify how much back pay you're going to probably get, just make sure you look at your form 50 so that you calculate it correctly, or rough estimate. So, but if you were a sub, you're going to be getting the back pay from from your sub time too. So
Yes. And that's kind of why it takes a bit of time for them to calculate back pay for 130,000 plus carriers, is because of how technical it is. I mean, if you think about it, should it take so long? No, but when you look at all the particulars to how we are paid, and you have those that go career, you have those that leave, you have the step increases
Steps.
that fall part in ways, and everything else. It there's so much many moving parts to our pay that's why it takes as long as it does currently to get back pay sorted. What else you guys got on your
how
minds?
exciting.
Well, I was just looking at this comment that was put in there. You get 8 seconds less per package when you scan multiple together. And then they have, I'm assuming this is the documentation. I'm trying to click on it. Wrong one.
Or
Let's see.
while you're looking that up, the only thing I was going to add is that with that to go really back to the beginning there, the Sunday sign up sheet, if you're a sub, you have to sign yes or no matter what. Even if you don't want to volunteer for Sunday, you still are required to hit yes, say yes or no so that they know every single sub got the opportunity to make their decision on it.
Hmm.
So just a heads up on that.
And even if you say no, they could still force you in as last resort. Just saying. Been there,
Okay.
done that.
Yeah, they're supposed to use all the arcs first on a rotating basis, but typically there's not enough arcs. And then you use the volunteers on a rotating basis. And if there's not enough volunteers, then you'll have the arcs working, the volunteers, and then you're gonna go to the non-volunteers, and they're supposed to be rotated alphabetically on a rotating basis. So you may work 3 Sundays in
Yep.
a row and have one off, but it just kind of depends on how many people and your office specificities and whatnot. So I
Yeah.
know I
Well,
know
I was
I
talking to
never
someone.
minded working Sunday.
I was talking recently, and they're like asking about with the volunteer list. And like, why? They work them all every week anyway. I'm like, I know, but it still has to get. They still have to have the option. Okay, the standard S048F. Gather accountable mail/large parcel fixed is also applied to each stop for delivery to the door. This allowance is 0.205 minutes or 12.3 seconds for the first parcel retrieved from the vehicle for delivery. For each additional parcel retrieved for delivery at the same location, S048V is in Victor. Gather accountable mail /large parcel variable is credited at 0.01, I'm sorry, 0.0812 minutes or 4.87 seconds per parcel is what they circled, or what they highlighted when they said that.
And I want to go back to the relief day work list for a moment. You if you sign the relief day work list, you can request to be removed from it at any time. You just can't go back on it except for the 2 signups per year. And if you request to go off of it and the schedule is already made, then and you are scheduled to work, you do have to work that scheduled relief day. I'm just saying that because I'm contemplating on whether I'm going to go on it or not. We starting next Saturday, the 20th. We have a shift around. My former sub will be going regular after a year and a half, so congratulations to him. And he will be going onto
Yes,
the 48K route, and the carrier that took over the 48K back in July will be moving to the 42H route. So that's going
yeah.
to
I'm gonna
leave,
say,
huh?
I'm gonna say, put your name on it. And like you said, you can always come off, give it through New Year's,
Yeah, I was
the
thinking at
Christmas,
least through
the overtime,
Christmas.
and then
Yeah,
make the decision from there.
yeah, that's where I was going with it. I mean,
I
even if I decided to stay on it, I could still choose a deck of three if I wanted the X day. And of
Yep,
course, we all know after the beginning of the new vacation uh, time at the beginning of January, I will definitely start banking the X days again to make up for all
right.
the other stuff I do. But I just look at it this way that we're going to be down to 3 subs. One's going to be to a 5-1 on the aux route, my sub, and then the other one that's newer in the office. And that's going to be it. And my sub's going to be the one route hopping when necessary. So because the 48K route he requested to keep the Monday K day instead of reverting back to Saturdays. So my sub will be working on that route on Mondays because that's his old primary, and then
Right.
covering and helping out as needed with everything else. So I look at it this way, at least through Christmas time, I don't really need any extra time off. If I know something's coming up or something like I'm on baby watch, guys. My daughter-in-law is due in 4 days. So, when he brings the wife and baby over to visit, if I need to have a day off or something in there, but I will have one annual day left to use, so I might make a long weekend, but yeah, I'm contemplating the relief day work list this go around. I mean, 2 years as a regular, and I have refused to go on it for various reasons. So I think I might just go on it so I can bank up some money because I've got a second grandson coming here anytime, and yeah, I need the money.
Yeah, well, but I just, I've been putting my name on the list as one of the more junior carriers because I want to, not that I necessarily want to work, but I want to choose how I get paid when I work. So
Sorry, guys, I'm typing here real quick.
I see that. But yeah, it's more of a being able to choose how I get paid when I have to work rather than with, being only given the option of an X day and then scheduling it. But most of the time I've been using my X days or the Thursdays also. So I
Oh,
don't
the other
burn
thing
up
I
all
wanted
my
to
sick and
say,
annual
because
leave.
I get asked this a lot too with the relief day work list will be down before you'll know what these new evaluations are. Because I think it's supposed to come down on the 26th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then we'll get the new evaluations on the 27th. Let's say that you're an H route and you think that you might go up, or even if you're not, and you want to sign up on the relief day work list, you still can.
Yes.
You would just put your name, like
Oh,
if you're an H route right now, you would just sign up on Saturday, and then let's say that you do jump up, you like they were saying, you can just take your name off if you really want to at that point, or like you don't
yep.
if you chose high option, and then you decide you don't want high option, you want the low option, you end up getting the J day or a K day, and then you're on the relief day work list. At least they can use you that way. So just keep that in mind if you were eyeing that relief
Yep.
day work list, because I know a lot of people went from H to J. So
Yeah, you
And
can.
yeah, I was just going to say, H others can sign the list.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be like, well, why would I sign the list? I don't get a day off. Well, for example, we had it, like me, I was saying, either you get enough growth this last 52 weeks worth of data and it puts you up to a J, or in the one case we had, a young lady was on an H route and bid to a K route and won, and she wasn't on the relief day work list, and the new list had just went into effect when the routes went up for bid. So she didn't even think about putting her name on the list before that because she didn't get a day off. And she had to wait a whole another 6 months before she could. She was
Yeah.
only getting
Yeah. So yeah, keep that in mind.
the X days.
If you are on an H route and there's a bigger route coming up for bid, and you're planning on bidding on it, and you want to be on that relief day work list, put your name on there. H routes are not exempt from the relief day work list sign up. You are a full time route. You can sign it because you never know what's going to happen while you're on that route. You can go up and become a
Yep.
J. You could bid off onto a J or a K. You don't know. It's
Your your office or zone could come up for the adjustment process and they build you back up.
mm-hmm. Yep. There's the different variables in there you got to remember. As an H route, go ahead if you feel that you may change routes or go up or be readjusted, have enough growth that would put you up into having a relief day. Go ahead and sign it. Nobody's gonna stop you from signing it. Oh yeah. So for
Anything
those
else?
that don't know, and I've already stated, I'm on baby watch, and my daughter-in-law is due in 4 days, and my son is back in Okinawa uh, with his wife because that is very important. So yeah, waiting time, and it is another grand boy, and I think his name's gonna be pronounced Lua, from what my son told me.
Okay.
baby Lua.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that's what he told me. But I don't know. It's a Japanese name, so I'll find out when he
Right. I
gets
was
here.
Baby Lulu, kind of. Baby Lua.
Yeah, yeah. Kingston will have a cousin 13 months younger than him. That's pretty cool. And little Kings thinks so. Now I'm going to go into sharing a little bit because I know everybody's probably wondering how the baby boy's doing. So little man turned a year old last month while I was at National Convention, and we did have a birthday party for him on the 31st of August. And then he thinks he's Evil Knievel. He's got this little Spider-Man four-wheeler. He can't push the button himself yet to make it move, which is probably a good thing because he likes to hold the handlebars and stand on the seat. And I have to remind him that he's not a paid stuntman yet, and he needs to sit down on his butt. And then he looks up at me and smiles and laughs. And then my youngest daughter just started high school, and unfortunately, I've missed both home football games. I haven't been able to make it over there to watch her in marching band. Ruby did go for the first one, thank goodness. There was another one Saturday, and unfortunately, I had to work and did not get done in time to make the drive over. So, but yeah, that's where I'm standing at on the home front. Anything else we want to cover, or we'll go
You'll
ahead and
make it
wrap
over
up?
there one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have anything. How about you,
I think
Meow?
we can wrap up.
we can
No, I
do
was gonna
that.
say I think we could.
I know you have a long night or short night ahead of you.
Yeah. I keep forget. I keep signing myself up for lack of sleep, but tomorrow night I'll sleep. I'll sleep on the airplane.
Yeah.
There you go. I know it's like our flight, our 12:30 a.m. flight to Rome. I'm going. I'm actually glad it's an overnight flight. Maybe I can actually sleep. But yeah, I get it because I know how hard it is to go to those concerts and then work the next day. I do it way too often. It's 2.5 hours away, and I
Worth
go, and it's in the middle of the week, and then I was like, oh yeah, I got to work the next day. Yeah, I know that quite well. And the older I get, the harder it gets.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I remember being
Well,
able to.
my brother and sister were both like, "Did you forget your age?" And I was like, "No, I didn't forget my age. I'm still young. We're all still young because they're not even a year younger than me." So I was like, "It's fine. I'll work tomorrow. It's all good."
Yeah,
But
I still do it,
my
and I'm
flight leaves
older
at
than you.
5 a.m. tomorrow. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, you do
You
what you gotta do. Concerts are
exactly.
therapy, man. I'm gonna ride
Yeah,
off that
I
high for a
can't.
while. It was so worth it.
Oh yeah.
I
So
can't
good.
anymore.
I'm
And it
really
was
temp
outside, so I was sitting for part of it, so my body doesn't hurt, but I'm just tired still too.
I'm debating if I want to go Friday to Falling in Reverse and Slaughter to Prevail. I mean, I've already seen them once this year, but I really want to see them again. And that's Friday. And then I still got to get Mushroom Head tickets for October 30th.
I don't have any concerts lined up right now, sadly, but I'm gonna change that here probably this week.
Right?
I usually buy most of my concert tickets like with my tax return, and then I wait to see what and they're usually for about now,
I'm
but
waiting
it's time
on
to
Yeah,
find
I'm
more.
waiting on incarceration dates to be announced for next year and tickets to go on sale so I can get my layaway down. And if anybody out there listens that wants to go and I'm not paying for your tickets by any means, but if you want to get camping, we can all come in together and camp together. That would be cool as hell. But
I'll hang out.
as of right now, it's going to be me, Ruby, and yes, we are taking Little Man. And I think maybe
Heck
Lynette.
yeah.
Yeah, we are going to take Little Man with us. And why not? And if it doesn't interfere
Yeah,
with my
gotta learn
daughter's
young.
if it doesn't interfere with Sophia's my youngest daughter's she has a parade for their local summer festival over there, and if it doesn't interfere with that, she said she would join us again this year. My little teenager's getting she'll be 15 next month, and she's getting a little rebellious, and I love it. um so I'm just waiting on dates to be released. So yeah, and that's my
Nice.
normal July thing. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Otherwise, we're gonna ramble about personal stuff, and everybody's gonna be like, "That sucked." I don't want to hear about
I
your
want to know
personal
about the
crap.
release day workload.
Well, it's not like you didn't invite them. You invited
Exactly.
them to
I
come.
did. Hey, I'm all about it. All
Gotta
right,
save the next days up for that.
I know. All right, Josh, your final commentary for this evening.
Um, just the weather's being the weather, so keep hydrating, bundle up if need be safe out there. Um, don't get overwhelmed. If you do, take a step back, take a deep breath, and step back in. Have a good week, y'all. Meow.
Oh. Well, one last thing about the relief day work list I was gonna say. You don't have to sign up for it. It's your choice. I know somebody was like get extra credit for that kinda. But it's your decision whether or not you want to or not. You can come off at any time, like we've kind of already touched on, but it's just another benefit that you got there. So um, whether you take it or not is up to you. Where I'm at actually has been raining, and we're having, I think, false fall coming along, but um, I know that it's still hot, like Josh was saying, some places. So, but take care of yourselves. Try and stay safe. Buckle up, and we will talk to you later. Kristen.
Thank you guys. I was gonna say something else and I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Ooh. Anyways.
You were going to say pretty man with a pretty plan.
No, no, I don't remember what it was. It was going back to something and I don't remember now. So if I remember it, oh well. Oh, I remember it now. I for those that are wondering, I did turn off the private messaging feature on the Facebook page. I am one person. And I until I have a set crew to answer messages and whatnot, those will be turned off. You can email us. It may take me a day or two or whatever to get back to you, but I do try to get back to everybody. What I normally do, if it's a question I don't know right off the top of my head, I'll take a screenshot, post it to the other hosts and whatnot, people in the backgrounds, and then we all come to a conclusion and email you back. So so yes, private messages are turned off as of right now. They have been for a little bit, and they will be until further notice. When they do come back open, I will make an announcement on here as well as on the Facebook page. And other than that, guys, have a safe week this week. Things are crazy out there. I'm not going to really get into all those talks. We've all seen the news and we all know what's going on. And yeah, so everybody stay vigilant out there, stay safe, and stay hydrated. That's a must year round. And we will be back next week.